Hello and welcome, dosto. Today we're going to unlock what is literally one of the most practical skills you could possibly have in math, converting measurements. Think about it for a sec. Whether you're tracking how far you ran this morning, weighing out ingredients for a cake, or figuring out just how much water fits in a tank, you're dealing with units of measurement. But what happens when those units just don't match up? Well, that's exactly what this explainer is going to show you how to handle seamlessly. I'll be your guide, and together, we're going to make this incredibly easy.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today so you know exactly what we'll conquer. 1. The golden rule. 2. Distance and length. 3. Measuring mass. 4. Liquid capacity. 5. Real-life math. And finally, 6. Revision and homework.
But hey, before we even touch a formula, I want you to picture this real-world scenario. Imagine a swimming pool that's 0.025 kilometers long. What's the distance between both ends in meters? Sounds a bit tricky, right? The core issue here is that our units don't match. We've got kilometers, but the question actually demands meters. We can't solve it just yet because it's like we're speaking two completely different mathematical languages, creating a mystery we need to unlock. But keep this pool in the back of your mind. By the end of this session, you're going to be able to solve this right in your head.
Section 1. The golden rule.
All right, so to solve our swimming pool mystery, we need to start with one universal secret that works for literally all unit conversions. It doesn't matter if you're measuring the distance across a country or the weight of a tiny feather. Here it is, the golden rule. Seriously, if you remember this, you're already halfway to mastering the whole shebang. When you're converting from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, you multiply. Think of it like taking a giant chocolate bar and breaking it into smaller pieces. You end up with way more pieces, so the number gets bigger. On the flip side, when you go from a smaller unit up to a bigger unit, you divide. Packing tiny pieces into big boxes means fewer boxes, so the number gets smaller. So, bigger to smaller, multiply. Smaller to bigger, divide.
Section 2. Distance and length. Now that we've got that ultimate golden rule safely tucked away in our tool belt, let's look at the base formulas for length and see how this all actually works. Take a look here. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters, and 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the beautiful, totally predictable pattern of tens, hundreds, and thousands. These are your base numbers. To convert any distance, you basically just grab your base number from this list, figure out which direction you're going, and apply that golden rule.
Let's actually try it out together. Say we want to convert 5 kilometers into meters. We know from our cheat sheet that 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. And since kilometers are way bigger than meters, we're going from big to small, which means, you guessed it, we multiply. We just take our 5 and multiply it by 1,000.
Bilkul, spot on. The answer is 5,000 meters. You just successfully applied the multiplication rule. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. Great job.
Okay, now for the reverse. Let's convert 3,500 meters back into kilometers. The base formula is exactly the same. 1,000 meters make up 1 kilometer. But because we're moving from a smaller unit, meters, up to a bigger one, kilometers, our golden rule tells us we have to divide. So we confidently take our 3,500 and divide it by 1,000.
And there we have it, 3.5 kilometers. Quick tip here, when you divide any number by 1,000, you're essentially just taking that hidden decimal point and sliding it 3 places to the left. The division rule literally works perfectly every single time.
Section 3. Measuring mass.
We have totally conquered length, so let's move to and see how this builds when we switch gears to measuring mass. You know, weight. The really great news here, measuring mass is incredibly straightforward. You don't need some massive list of formulas to memorize. There's just one simple base formula you need for this level. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Kilograms are the larger unit we use for heavier stuff, like a big bag of flour, while grams are the smaller unit for super light things, like a pinch of salt.
Let's quickly apply our rule to a new mass problem. If we want to convert 8 kilograms into grams, we start right at our base. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. We're moving from the big unit down to the small unit, so that means we multiply, which gives us an easy equation of 8 multiplied by 1,000.
Exactly right. The solution is 8,000 grams. You're starting to see how beautifully universal this logic is, aren't you? Once you lock down the base formula and the golden rule, the math itself is an absolute breeze.
Section 4. Liquid capacity.
And that brings us right along to liquid capacity. Actually, I have a fantastic spoiler for you here. The exact same mathematical logic applies to liquids, whether it's water, milk, or juice. Just like mass, capacity uses that magic number 1,000 for its basic conversion. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Liters are your bigger unit, and milliliters are your smaller unit. It's literally the exact same pattern we just saw with kilograms and grams, just slapped with different labels.
So if you need to convert 6 liters into milliliters, I bet you know exactly what to do without even breaking a sweat. The base is 1,000, and going bigger to smaller means we multiply. Yep, 6 times 1,000.
Fantastic! The answer is 6,000 milliliters. You confidently set up that equation, applied the rule, and the answer just flowed right out. Huge virtual high five for successfully nailing that capacity answer.
Section 5. Real-life math.
All right, let's step out of abstract numbers and jump back into the real world. And this brilliantly illustrates why learning these conversions actually matters outside the classroom. Remember that swimming pool problem from the very beginning? The pool is 0.025 kilometers long, and we desperately need to find that distance in meters. Well, we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller one, so we multiply by our base number, 1,000. We just take 0.025 and multiply it by 1,000. Boom! The distance is 25 meters. When you multiply a decimal by 1,000, you're just shifting that decimal point 3 spots to the right. 1, 2, 3, and we get 25. You just proved that you now have the exact skills required to solve real-world, everyday math mysteries.
Section 6. Revision and homework.
We have covered some fantastic ground today, going all the way from length down to liquid capacity. Now it's time to lock this knowledge into your brain forever so you can always rely on it. So the crucial point is summarized right here. Let's rhythmically recap these essential formulas. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, and 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. And above all else, always remember your golden rule. Bigger to smaller, you multiply. Smaller to bigger, you divide. That rule right there is your master key for all of this.
All right, now it is your turn to shine. Here is your homework challenge. I want you to go ahead and pause this explainer right now, grab a pen and some paper, and try these 6 problems yourself. Convert these units using everything we just learned today. You have all the tools, the formulas, and the rules you need to get these absolutely perfect. But here is a final thought for you to ponder before you go. If we can convert the vastness of kilometers all the way down to tiny millimeters so effortlessly, what other complex mysteries in the universe do you think can be solved with just a little bit of basic math? Keep practicing, stay curious, and Allah Hafiz.
Thanks for watching. Bye, students. Don't forget to subscribe for more math fun videos. See you in the next lesson.